Greetings everyone. So I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while since I did the day 22 of the transparency videos, and sitting here just about to go and move over to another place on the island in Dominican Republic to do the retreat, the 11th the retreat. About to turn the phone off for 7 days, no computer, no online, just be with a group of 10 other people, 9 other people, and explore authentic connection, have fun together, play together, die together, love together, and fall into the surrender and letting go that's required in order to drop into love. Now I just had a shower, I just had some food, and before that I was doing some emails out to a group of people, 54 different people who are co-creating a book that I had an idea to put together over nearly 2 years ago now. A year and a half ago I thought of putting it together, and writing to them just to give them an update of where we are in terms of the book, and then I'm just aware of everything else that's going on. So this week it's been a week of being in the schools with the students of Hogar del Nino, which is where we gift our energy. It's like a gift exchange going on where the gift keeps giving, right? So Xiomara came on to the retreat in one of our first ever retreats, and we didn't know that she had a school in the Dominican Republic, but it turns out that her mum and her are founders of a school that holds 1,700 students from, let's say, challenged backgrounds. I don't like saying always deprived or poor or those words, but challenged backgrounds. Parents can't look after them. They take the children in from a zero. Not all of them, but many of them. Young kids that can't afford education. Mothers that are, either in dysfunctional relationships, domestic violence, drugs, all that jazz. And some of the children just don't have parents, and so on. So we spent a week in there, sharing our gifts and just seeing again the intensity and the depths of the conditioning of the indoctrinated minds. And not just with these students, but like just in and of itself, when you go into education and look at education and how it's never ever ever taught any of us about thoughts, breath, emotions, the power of our words and the power of our thoughts. The dog was barking loud and terrorizing the video. Of course, the dogs don't know that we're recording on these technological telecommunications systems. So I was just speaking about, just being with that, just being with what is, and looking at how education is designed for students to learn, repeat, and then they get an exam, repeat and regurgitate what they get told. But this sense of like really knowing what they're feeling and what's going on with them and what they need is just not the priority. Of course, many things are changing, and of course, education is changing as well. Education is changing as well. All the systems are crumbling. Everything has to dissolve and crumble and change form and die across the board. The way we communicate, the way we engage, the way we make love, the way we exchange money and our gifts and tools and resources, our beliefs, our indoctrinated beliefs, our limited beliefs, science, the health and food industry, the pharmaceutical, it's all crumbling because the truth is coming out more and more and more, and people, and even you hear it a lot now as well, like the next generations, the youth that are coming through, they're seeing so much of the imbalances even more so, and they're just saying no, they're not acquiescing to it. But of course, we still have many much energy and generations and projections into the field that are upholding so many of the systems that have already collapsed. So that's been alive in me, just observing that, and also being here in the Dominican Republic, being in two sides, two sort of polar opposite realities. Being here in the Casa de Campo, which is a very, let's say, wealthy and closed environment, closed community, and then you go outside into La Romana, and La Romana is, the sort of extreme side of poverty. And there's a lot of violence and struggle and strife and lack going on in La Romana at the moment, and at the same time there's more robberies and more crime going on inside of this area, because they think that you've got to rob from the rich, like what I did when I was younger, to survive, because the rich have got what you need. And some of the students, funnily enough, when we was in there and asking them what they need, which is a question they'd never actually been asked, a couple of them just commented on like money, just need money. Money's going to save them, money's going to be the answer. And not to say that money won't help people, but this sense about relationship to money and what money means, and that how we are already the abundant tap anyway, because we haven't even been shown that. That's a faraway concept. So that's what's a little bit alive in me today. And then simultaneously I met somebody and they were telling me about how Venezuela, the severe extreme situation in Venezuela. And then I got an Avaz email the other day saying how many, I can't remember how many million Facebook accounts are corrupt, false, fake accounts, helping to manipulate and coerce people, and legislations, and putting people in power in terms of government and so on. There's so underneath there's so much corruption, deceit and lies, of course, still out there in the world. So what's the answer to that? Somebody wrote me an email recently going, okay, you want to be helped on your Patreon page, you want to help be part of this revolution of helping people to love themselves, but that all sounds a little bit sort of spiritual woohoo. Where's the real sort of hard facts, the science behind, what's the solutions to the bees dying out and the insects dying out and the coral reefs dying out and the Amazon dying out and all of this, real deep wounding of the mother, the mother planet, Mother Earth. And then when we look out there and we look at like what is really that whole relationship to why there seems to be so much suffering going on towards the planet, and we have to look at that in relation to how we are actually abusing the feminine, right? We're abusing the woman and have been for so long. It's not hard to see that. So you start to sort of correlate the two and link the two and go, yeah, so if we're abusing the feminine, but not just the feminine on the outside, we're abusing the feminine on the inside, because that's not been the driving energy. And we start to look at, okay, so what is the answer? And the answer I always come back to is that you can't help anything outside of yourself until you help what's going on inside of you. And so the pain and suffering that's going on inside of you, whatever that is, the frustration, the anxiety, the short-temperedness, the resentment, the hate, the judgment, the condemning, the them and us mentality, the more for me is less for you, the I need, I'm not enough, I want more, I want to be successful, I want to own this, I want ownership. All of that stuff is inside each one of us, because we're the co-creators of the societies and cultures that we're seeing out in the world. And then we get people, no, it's not my responsibility, it's them, it's government, it's Trump, it's this, that and the other, it's over there, it's always over there. you know, I come back to that simple, very simple but profound teaching, which is as you point one finger out there, boom, 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 you point in three of those bad boys back at yourself. And as you point three of those bad boys back at yourself, your little thumb there is the witness. The witness can see it all going on. So transparency for me is like, it's really time for everybody to just show up. Show up, speak your truth, express yourself. You know, you heard that song many, many years ago when I was younger. I used to listen to rap music. Express yourself. I can't even remember the lyrics, but it was a who were they? Dr. Dre and all those guys. So, you know, everyone, you would say, oh, okay, well, everyone is expressing themselves. That's what's happening out there. But everyone's expressing themselves. But for me, this journey of transparency and transparent communication is just to get out what's going on inside. You know, express the emotions, express the thoughts, express the pent-up energy that's trapped inside. And we can label that many different things like anger, frustration, and as I said earlier, but whatever it is, it's like what is going on inside of us, because there's so many distractions, there's so much information, there's so many reasons and justifications why we can't look inside. Like we couldn't even, like when we asked people to close their eyes, and still when we ask people to close their eyes, so many people can't close their eyes because they're not willing to just look inside and go inside and meet themselves and love themselves and clean themselves and so on. It's such a pull outward. And if there's any calling at the moment that I'm hearing, is it's a call inward. And it has been for many, many years, and that continues to call me inside. And then we get out of the information and into our intuition. Come back to our intuition. Come back to our deeper knowing. So that's what's alive in me today. There's so much more that I can speak about, but I'll keep this video at this 10 minutes or so. And yeah, thank you all to you, the ones that have been listening to these videos. I'm following through on finishing this project, the 30 Days of Transparency, and the Charles Eisenstein book reading. And I have a few conversations booked up on Simon so far, one in May. But I'm not sure where I'm heading. I'm not sure where I'm heading with what I'm going to share on this page at the moment. Really contemplating what's out there, questioning everything, as always. But we've also launched another YouTube page called Dara and Simon. So over there's songs that Dara's creating, and there's other content that we're putting up that we're creating together. And also we have our Naked The Retreat YouTube page. So there's many videos over there that might inspire you. And if you like Facebook, then we also just launched a page on there. But that Facebook, I'm not sure about Facebook. I haven't been sure about Facebook for 7 years. But I'm still on there sharing stuff. And at the same time, always asking, why am I sharing what I'm sharing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I talking to you guys on this video right now? Why am I choosing to go into these schools? Why am I eating what I'm eating? What is it that I might be doing that is actually distracting me from looking inside and cleaning, and from me looking at where I might be suffering or in avoidance or addicted to certain things, whether it be addicted to projects, addicted to social media, addicted to old behavior patterns and neural pathways of conditioning. So it's the cleaning. I'm constantly looking. But with these projects, I like to follow through. One of the things I like to do is bring things to completion. So I'll continue sharing transparently and see what emerges over these next coming months. We shall see. But definitely sieving beyond all the noise and seeing what's really being asked of us as individuals and as a collective. What is really being asked of us? Or right now, you could ask that question to yourself. What is being asked of me? Who am I, and what do I really want to offer, give? What's my contribution? What's my gift to the shift? And not to get caught up in the more hate, more negativity, more blame, more, oh, the world's going to end. That's not going to resolve anything, because even if it is, it is. Forget the world's going to end. Even if, you know, you're going to die, you're going to die. That doesn't matter. If things are going to collapse, they're going to collapse. It's irrelevant. The point is, what is the response, not the reaction. Reactive is often impulsive and just comes from a place of density and survival and lack. What's the response into the joy, the enthusiasm, the acceptance, and then the creating from being? So I am very peaceful here in the Dominican, looking at the sea and the boats and the palm trees. I love looking at palm trees. And I'm very blessed. And so many different perspectives and different ways of viewing reality. I was gonna talk about a conversation I just had with a guy called Greg, a friend of mine, about souls and union and sex, but I'm going to do that's something that's definitely popping up. Definitely a whole series on sexuality and men's connection to their sexuality and shame and guilt, and also women's too. It's going to be an interesting set of dialogues. Thank you for listening. See, I went past 10 minutes. I could just keep. Wow, so much I want to share. That's what transparency is so good about, sharing what's alive and what's been going on for us and the struggles, and not just putting out the so-called great. So many people on social media, or we even perceive now, they just put out what they want you to perceive them to be. But I like the real, raw, nitty-gritty. What's alive in us? What emotion is alive in us? What's going on in our own processes? But not from that place of like, look at me, but from that place of like, hey, we're going through this together. Can you feel me? We're all going through this inquiry, looking out there, feeling all this information. And everyone's feeling it, even if they're not aware of it. Have a great life. Take responsibility of your choices.